I'm Josh Lipton and I commute by bike. I'm here at the North American Handmade Bike Show in Austin, Texas. I'm here with Stephen Bilenky of Bilenky Bikes. How you doing, Stephen?
Good.
You enjoying the show?
Pretty much.
Yeah. How did you become a cyclist?
Maybe I was born a cyclist.
Yeah.
Because I kind of remember I was maybe 6 or 7 waiting for my dad to bring home this AMF bicycle, 20-inch wheel. So something had me early on. So I was always waiting for bicycles. But I was the first in my neighborhood to sort of be able to like wander past the driveway, and so I started using bikes early to like explore other neighborhoods and go to the shopping center and then go to the park that was not too far and then ride. I was like one of the few people that rode their bike to junior high school.
Do you commute by bike?
I commute by bike, but now it's been a couple years since I've commuted exclusively by bike. It's hard to say, because it seems more and more I have things to carry. Hopefully I'll get a cargo bike and can do more. I like to trash pick. So it's nice to have a bike that you can throw things on.
Yeah. Where do you live and what is your bike commute like?
It's actually quite easy. It's about 3 miles and kind of comes through what's called like suburban neighborhoods of Philadelphia into a more urban, tighter row houses. And our shop is at a junkyard, so it's a little bit kind of commercial and industrial.
Tell me how your work as a frame builder relates to bicycle advocacy.
Well, for one thing, last year we decided to do a bicycle expo in Philadelphia, and one of the things, the theme was artisans, activists, and what? I guess it was artisans, activists, and alternatives. And so basically, instead of just focusing on the building of bikes or just handcrafted bikes, we're really looking at just how to expand the awareness of bicycling in the Philadelphia area and work with one of the premier advocacy groups is the Bicycle Coalition of Philadelphia. So trying to use my notoriety in the bicycle field to partner with people who are interested in how to make the city more rideable, how to get more people using bikes for everyday activities. Also, a lot of the bikes that we have built and are very interested in are either, we have our cargo bike, which is a load carrying bike. We've always done bikes with internal hubs and kind of done the commuter bike before anybody really thought about it. And any kind of bikes that are practical and long-lasting rather than bikes that are fashionable.
Have you noticed that you've had to balance the costs and benefits of focusing on bicycle advocacy from a business perspective?
Yeah, that's from
Well, it's something that goes hand in hand, because as you promote advocacy, it's good for being in the bicycle business because it brings more awareness of your brand. And meeting people as you meet people outside of your normal circle of like bicycle builders or bicycle suppliers. You meet more people who are riding different kinds of bikes, who know people who are thinking about bikes or people who need bikes fixed. So it certainly can't hurt.
Do you have 3 words or concepts you would use to describe an ideal commuter bike?
Let's see. Maybe it needs to be in it. But anyway, durability, usability, and low maintenance.
What inspired you to begin and to continue building bicycles?
Basically, it was a commuter bicycle. I was doing bicycle repair, then I did bicycle retail. So it was partly, I'd always studied, admired and loved the bicycles from Europe and the concept of like a custom built bike, because I would be helping people shop for bikes and always changing specs. So basically trying to get bicycles to fit the person and the person's needs. But my first bicycle model was a bike that would be, instead of the mountain bikes that were becoming popular that were thought to be good for commuting, which I thought were too heavy and too specific for like dirt roads, and didn't have the proper fittings for fenders, lights, kickstands, locks, things like that. My first custom bike was basically creating a commuter bicycle that was high quality, lightweight, and durable.
What are the majority of your bikes used for?
Let's see. I guess we sell our bikes mostly to users, and so they ride a lot, but not necessarily racers. Some are long-distance tourists, or at least weekend tourists, and some are dedicated commuters.
If money was no object, what bicycle accessories would you integrate directly into the bicycle frame, and which would you build mounting points for?
I would like to have a really elegant kickstand. I think that's an important part of a bike that you're going to get on and get off and do errands. So, really nice kickstand, and then probably next would be some type of locking system, and third would be more wiring for lighting systems.
I want to talk a little about electric bikes.
Mm-hmm.
Can you talk about the constraints and or opportunity for adding electric assist systems to your bikes?
The answer to most questions is
Yeah.
the answer is a lot of questions. Well, we make a couple bikes that I've looked and just haven't had the time to really investigate what's the best way to do some electric assist, but our cargo bike, where people could be taking upwards of 150 pounds, if you're going to get into a lot of hills, electric assist could be really good for making that more practical. The other thing, we do a tandem that's used a lot for special needs, children and adults, and having an electric assist on that bicycle would also make that more useful for people who aren't as seasoned as cyclists, to be able to like share cycling with people that don't have the ability to pedal or pedal completely.
Do you have any thoughts on commuting bike design trends that have been picked up by the big players in the cycling industry?
Do I have any comments?
Yeah, any thoughts or comments on it?
Well, I guess there's probably been around three waves at least by now. I guess a few years ago, in the hand-built world, there was a lot of city bikes. I don't see as much at this show. So just the fact, the popularity of that, but that's been picked up by a lot of the major manufacturers. So now we have various kinds of urban, Dutch, and just sort of stylized bikes that are for commuting, and it's a great thing. The incorporation of racks, front racks in particular, porter type platforms on the front fork, better fender mounts, chain guards. Probably that answers that, goes back to another older question. More chain guards and more internal hubs.
Imagine that I'm a potential buyer, but not a bike building connoisseur. What features of your commuter bikes would you want to emphasize to me?
Well, one is I'd want to emphasize the fact that, since we're a small builder, assuming you're a bike shopper that might be shopping anything from a Trek or a Raleigh and saying, well, why would I want to buy a Bilenky? Our emphasis would be on that we would be customizing a bike toward your needs. So the first thing would be like, well, what kind of commuting? We have commuters that are really going, let's say, 20 miles, and they're looking for speed. I got more distance. I'm really going over the road commuting, and I need to get there. So that'd be one thing. The other thing may be a commuter who's a real sidewalk basher, and it's really short commutes but like bad conditions. So we'd want to know more about you and the kind of conditions and what kind of distances, and what else, whether you want the bike. Sometimes we sell bikes for commuters that actually want the bike to be also usable on the weekend, and so be a more wider scope than just a specifically commuter-only bike. We also do bikes that come apart, and some people need that feature where the bike can be quickly disassembled, dropped in a bag, and walked into an office or a building where the bikes are not, they're prohibited. But by putting a bike in a bag, they can like bring it into their office. So that's thing. So basically, it's kind of figuring out what you as a commuter really need, and tailoring the bike to that, as a saying like, here's our bike with a basket, go to work.
Well, Stephen, thank you so much for talking to us about your great work.
All right,
really appreciate it.
All right, good luck with your site and the work you're doing.
Thank you. I'm Josh Lipton, and I commute by bike.